How's it going? It's our player back again. Today we are going to look at the Theros Beyond Depth Spores. Now I'm so excited for this set, going back to Theros. So another thing, it's gonna also the first card. Sagas! They're back! I'm so excited. I'm actually really excited for Sagas to be back. I never thought they would come back. I thought they were gone forever. I thought that the only chance they would appear in is in Eldraine. That's the only chance I thought that they had to come back, but they're back in Theros Beyond Death. It's really interesting that they decided for Theros to put. I thought Eldraine would have been more suited for Sagas because the whole storytelling manner. And you go down the chapters. Makes sense, but okay. Here in Theros, they're still welcome. I love the Saga mechanic from Dominaria. It was really cool. So let's look at it. The first Saga is the Okran War. There's also another one that has 4 stages. Most of them have 3, but there was also one I saw that had 4. So the Okran War, it's 3 in red for a rare Saga. Gain control of target creature for as long as you control. For as long as the Okran War remains on it. So basically, until this becomes sacrificed and dies, you get a creature for 4 mana. So basically, just 4 mana steal something for 2 turns. Then, until your next turn, creatures your opponent's control attack each combat if able. So let's say your opponent's playing like a more control-y deck with more like the creatures with big defense. They're just forced to send them in there, and that's really cool. Or like they have puny creatures, and they're just like, using control decks, and just using those creatures as jump blockers, and now they have force to attack, and then you can just block it, and then you're way clear. So this is pretty good against a control deck. Next up is each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So basically you do this with the other one because their creatures are going to be tapped. Most of them because they attacked. So then, now you just get to kill most of them. So that's really cool. I really love the Saga. I think this is a pretty good Saga. Next up, Dakilos, Crafter of Wanders. 1 and blue-red for a 2/4. Alright, that's decent statting. He taps for 2 colorless, spends mana only to cast artifact spells. Equip creatures you control with flying and haste. So that's really cool. He can be... I'm not sure if I'm... he has like an artifact synergy, mainly equipment. So it looks like just really focused on equipment. This is gonna look like another just Voltron card. This is cool. Next up, we have Labyrinth of Skopos. It's a colorless land. Taps for colorless. You can also pay 4 and tap it to remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. So that's actually really spicy. So now, you can just... This is basically kind of like a Maze of Ith effect. But the thing is, I think Maze of Ith is a little more powerful, because this one you actually have to pay 5 mana, technically, because you have to also tap the Labyrinth of Skopos. But it's really cool, because, well, this is obviously more powerful than the Maze of Ith. If this was just tap, do that, like how Maze of Ith is just tap, do that, this just said tap, remove target creature, attacking or blocking creature from combat, that'd be way too good. But this late game is just really good when you need to get those extra points of damage in, or save some creatures from combat. This is just a real good saver. Really like this card. It can go fit in any deck. In control decks, it's good. You can just remove an attacker. In aggro decks, it's good because you can remove blockers. Next up, Ashiok's Erasure. 2 and blue for a enchantment. It has flash. That's cool. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell. So basically, you just say bye-bye to that spell on the stack. Your opponents can't cast a spell with the same name as the exiled card. When Ashiok's Erasure leaves the battlefield, return the exile spell to its owner's hand. Okay. So this is going to be like a sideboard card. This is not going to be a limited card, definitely. You're not going to see this in limited. You don't want to have this card in your deck. But it's really cool. I mean, I don't know if you want a 4 mana... Would you want a 4 mana exile spell and it goes into exile? But the thing is, they can get rid of it. They have a chance to get rid of that, and they can just get it back. So yeah, this is a card for limited. I mean, not for limited. This is a card for constructed play. And people are running 4 of the cards. Maybe get rid of a key card. This is that kind of card. Next up, we have Treacherous Blessing. 2 and black for an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Okay. So that's insane. You just draw 3 cards. Next up, whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. Then, whenever Treacherous Blessing becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice. So I think they had that clause in there just so you can like bounce it and then replay and just keep drawing the cards. That'd just be way too good. But honestly, this is cool. Just do that, draw 3 cards, and then just blow it up, and then just deploy things. That's just really spicy. I really love this card. I think this card's really just super good. Alright, let's go over Banishing Light. It's just a reprint. Basically just O-Ring, but it's a fixed O-Ring because O-Ring, there's loops there's exploitation with the text. Same thing as Banisher Priest is the fixed version of Fiend Hunter. Because the thing is, you use like something that, let's say for Oblivion Ring, you use it, you target something. Then, let's say you have a way to sacrifice it. So what happens is, when you sacrifice it, so basically how O-Ring is worded is, first thing is, it has 2 paragraphs. It says, when Oblivion Ring enters the battlefield, you exile target creature. Then, the second line of text says, when Oblivion Ring leaves the battlefield, return exile creature to its owner's control. So what you do is you sacrifice, when the trigger goes on the stack to exile, you decide you sacrifice it to an effect. Now, the second line goes in the stack because it says return that creature, but there's nothing. But there's nothing that O-Ring's already taken, so it just fizzles. Then the first line when it enters the battlefield triggers and it exiles a creature forever. That's why, but Banishing Light doesn't have that because it's on a single paragraph, and because it's worded that way. Because let's say you do that. Let's say you try the same thing. You play Banishing Light. You target something with the Banishing Light. Alright, you target something. Then, you sacrifice it to something. Thing is, there's no separate triggers from that. There's no separate triggers that occur from that because it's on a single line of paragraph. Another cool thing about Banishing Light into the O-Ring, because let's say Banishing Light exiles your commander, right? You're playing commander. The thing is, the commander will go to the command zone. Now, I'm saying this all from Jumbo Commander. I learned this from You're Doing Exile Effects Wrong. Go check that video out. Really helpful. Yeah. Thing is, with that, if this exiles your commander, and let's say you don't play your commander, and this leaves the battlefield, like let's say someone destroys all 9 land permanents, you get your commander back because it remembers that it exiled it into the command zone. It doesn't work that way with Oblivion Ring. I'm not really good at explaining. Go check out Jumbo Commander's video if you want the full explanation of how the rules interactions work with that. And we're really here to talk. I'm talking about all these cards. Whatever. I'm just saying that. Go check out his video. He goes in depth about how all this exile shenanigans work. In his video, You're Doing Exile Effects Wrong. Go check that video out. Really helpful. Next up, we have Phalanx Tactics. Okay, it's 1 and a white for an instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Each other creature you control gets +1/+1 until. So this is just this is crazy. This is just a finisher it's just so cheap. It's just a 2-mana finisher. Let's say you have 1 trample creature. Okay, I'm gonna give my creature with trample +2/+1, and I'm gonna get all my other creatures +1/+1. Insane. This card's really good. This is gonna be a limited finisher. Giving everything +2/+1, and we're giving something +2/+1, giving all the other creatures +1/+1. Insane. Next up, you have Aurelios Enraptured. Enraptured. 2 in a blue for a human. 2/3. When he enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. Not that good. Aureus doesn't tap during your X untap, so if you control reflection. When Aureus enters the battlefield, create a 3/2 blue reflection token. Okay, I'm trying to understand this a little bit. Let me try to special tap. It doesn't untap during your untap step if you control reflection. And then he creates a 3/2 reflection. So basically you get a 3/2, but when that 3/2 dies you get 2/3. So basically just 2 bodies on 1 card. This is okay. It's not like an all super good. It's okay. I say it's okay. 2 bodies for 1 could be good, but I mean, I'm not really a fan, but it's an okay card. It can work. And let's start from the top here. Next up, Rage Scarred Berserker. 4 and a black for a 5/4. That's not bad. And when it enters the battlefield, target gets +1/+0 and indestructible. So that's actually really good. Again, good finisher card, and you can just give your. Because this is really good. Like, let's say you need to get in with a creature, but your opponent has a ton of blockers. You just have a ton of blockers, and you have a trample creature. You just give this +1/+0 and indestructible. Then you attack with that, and you also have a 5/4 just to help you not die from the crackback. Really spicy card. Pretty good for a common, too. Next up, this mechanic is probably my favorite mechanic from the set. This mechanic is super cool. Alright, so what's our Fruit of Theros? It's a black for a sorcery. Target player loses 2 life. Now here's the mechanic. Escape. 3 and black. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. So basically, you can pay 3 and black and exile 3 cards from your graveyard to cast this again. Now, there's better cards like this, but still, this is basically just the flavor of escaping the underworld. You leave that all behind and you go back to the living. And this card's not that bad. It drains. I would like if it was like drain 2, gain 1 or 2. But still, this is pretty cool. And it's also. This is my favorite mechanic because it's on Elspeth. I'm gonna say Elspeth has this mechanic. A Planeswalker has this mechanic, and that's just insane that a Planeswalker has this mechanic. I think that Elspeth is just gonna be one of the most insane limited cards. If you pull an Elspeth during a pre-release, you're good to go. Except Pious Wayfarer, a white for a 1/2. All right, not that bad. And also has Constellation. So this is the other mechanic. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 on a turn. Especially just enchantment because there's enchantment creatures. Theros is just about enchantment creatures, devotion, and also the gods. And now we also have this escape mechanic, which is really spicy. Speaking of enchantment creatures, Nyxborn Marauder. 2 and black for a 4/3 enchantment creature Minotaur. Well, this is not. I mean, this is just a good, decent filler card for your enchantment decks in limited. Definitely, well, I'm just gonna play this constructed. Yeah, just a good filler for any limited deck if you just need a creature or need more enchantments. Good card to fill it. Next up, we have Venomous Hierophant. It's a 4-mana 3/3 death touches. I hate that already. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard. So this is really cool. It interacts with escape. You can just now escape some cards. That's the thing I love, because if you mill, like, let's say you mill Elspeth, you can just escape her back. It's just insane. And also, the other thing about escape is that it doesn't, like, exile the card when you do it. So if you have 3 more cards in your graveyard for, like, that card, you can just do it again. And again, and again, and again. Another one. That's really cool. Next up, we have Flicker of Fate. It's 1 and white for an instant. Exile to a creature or enchantment, then returns to the battlefield under its owner's control. So just a nice flicker effect. Okay, just a flicker. That's all it does. I mean, obviously, Ephemerate from Modern Horizons was way better, but it's cool. Next up, we have Wrap in Flames. 3 in red for Wrap in Flames deals 1 damage to each of up to 3 target creatures. Those creatures can block this turn. Good finisher. I think like Cosmotronic Wave was way better. It dealt 1 to everything, and then and all those creatures couldn't block. But this is still a good finisher. This is probably going to be a good aggro finisher. Actually, we have Nyxborn Brute. There's a lot of Nyxborns here. It's an enchantment creature, 5 mana, 7/3. Okay, it's not bad. I mean, it's top heavy. Really top heavy. I mean, that toughness, though, it can just really lead. It just have a 3-power creature. It's over. They just have a 2-power creature and a 1-power creature. Block, your 7/3 is gone. So it's mediocre, I'd say. Now, Iora's Blessing, 3 and red for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When Iora's Blessing enters the battlefield, it does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. That's really spicy. And enchant creature gets +1/+1. That's big spicy. And that's a common, too. 4 mana and then just give a creature +1/+1? That's insane. At common. And I expect this card to be an uncommon. Because sure, 4 mana for 4 damage at sorcerer speed is not good. But then giving it the creature +1/+1. Or maybe I'm just bad. I'm probably just bad. But I think that card's pretty good. In limited especially. Except Infuriate. Target creature gets +3/+2. We already saw this in M20. Alright. So Arena Trickster. 3 and a red for a 3/3. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Arena Trickster. Ooh, so this is looking just for you. So basically, it looks for you to play instants or creature or stuff with flash, and there is a lot of stuff with flash. So this could be pretty good. There's a lot of flash stuff. Next up, we have Aspect of Lampery. 3 and green, black for an enchantment or enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards 2 cards, and then the enchanted creature has lifelink. So that's pretty cool. You get for 4 mana, you make them discard 2 cards. That's Mind Rot, and also the creature gets lifelink. I think that Rise of Blessing is better, but still. Next up, we have Funeral Rites. It's 2 and black for you draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life, and then put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. That's actually not that bad. I mean, we already had freaking what was it? The Foreboding Fruit, which is just the same thing, but also had Adamant. This also just mills you for 2, which could be helpful again with the escape mechanic. There's a lot of looks like the set's gonna be pretty graveyard centric. Obviously, because we have had two main characters from the story die, which are Elspeth and Gideon, and they're now in the underworld. Well, I don't know about Gideon. I know we know Elspeth, but we still don't really know too much about Gideon. Yes, none of these cards have even referenced him. There has been an Elspeth card. There's an Elspeth Planeswalker here that I really want to talk about. Now, the text on that Elspeth, it's pretty mediocre, but the escape mechanic just makes it so much better. Next up, Portrait of Betrayal. 3 and red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste, and you scry 1. So basically, it's just Act of Treason, but for 1 mana, you get a scry. Scrying, people undervalue scry. Scry is actually kind of a really good mechanic. It's basically half a card. It's basically half of drawing a card. I mean, paying 1 mana to scry, I mean, I don't think paying 1 mana to scry is good. I say 1 mana for scry 2 is good. But 1 mana for scry 1 is not that good because we already have Act of Treason, which is just 3 mana to steal a creature. But 1 mana scry 1, sorry. Excuse my farting. Okay, next up we have so this card, well, let's go. Potential Betrayal. Portrait of Betrayal is okay. Underworld Ragehound, it's 1 and a red for a 3/1, and it attacks each turn if able. And also it has Escape. So, you pay 4 mana, you exile 3 cards, and you can put this back. And also it has the clause of when it escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. So it escapes the underworld with an extra. Looks like it's learned some extra tricks from being in the underworld. Alright, I'm gonna head out for a second. It's not gonna take too long. Be back. Alright guys, I am back. Sorry. I had to go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, so this card is pretty cool. It's now 4-2 when it escapes. And also with things like mill you, like the funeral rites, or that 4-mana 3/3 that's after that mills. They're pretty cool. Looks like self-milling is might be a good deck now. I mean, it's gonna be probably a rogue deck still. But it's gonna be pretty cool. I mean, it might be a good rogue deck because you already have the Jace, so self-milling might be pretty good. Next up, Moss Viper, 1/1 Death Toucher for green. Yeah, it's basically just set Scorpion. Okay card. This is a 1/1 Death Toucher, she's an annoying blocker that your opponent has to account for, and like, I hate Death Touchers. They just make combat so much more tricky. It's like you have this big, ginormous threat. It doesn't have trample or indestructible, and there's a 1/1 Death Toucher on the board, and you're just. My all-time most hated is just a vampire. A Diamond, the 1 black Death Toucher with lifelink. That card's so annoying. Because the other thing, they can also just hit you with it. Because the fact is, it has lifelink. So it's not as. So it's actually kind of sometimes worth it just to smack that thing at you. Really just annoying Death Toucher. It's probably my most hated mechanic. Also, Vigilance is another one of my most hated mechanics. Anything that just disrupts combat, I hate it. Vigilance, because they have a 7/7 with Vigilance. Okay, I attack. Oh yeah, now you also can't attack because I have this, so I'm just gonna keep hitting you with it. Also flying. Especially if my deck can't deal with flying, then I hate flying. Most of the time I do have ways to deal with flying, but sometimes I just don't. Alright. Send training, it's 1 in a green for an aura, enchant creature control. When next to the battlefield, draw a card, and the creature gets +1/+0 and trample. Okay. That's cool. It's not bad. It's +1/+0 trample, draw a card, replaces itself. It's not that bad. Might be an okay finisher card, especially if you put it onto like a big creature. Next up, Voracious Typhoon. It's 4 mana for a 4/4. Okay, that's pretty good stats. It also has escape for 7. So you can escape by exiling 4 cards. Now just not 3, 4 cards. And when it escapes with 3 +1/+1 counter. So you can get a 4 mana 4/4, and then you get a 7 mana 7/7. That's pretty good. Then you have to exile 3 cards to play that 7 mana 7 mana. But basically these are just on 2 cards. You have a 4/4 and also a 7/7. That's pretty cool. Next up, Titchron Wave Rider. It has Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under control, it gets flying. So 4 mana 3/3. Not that bad. You just really want to hit Constellation and Lapdogs just to make this a 3 mana flyer, which all the time it might not be. This is a mediocre card. Very mediocre. Next we have Nyxborn Seaguard. It's a 4 mana 2/5. And it's an enchantment creature, so it just fills in the enchantment slot if you need enchantment synergies. So it's not bad. I mean, it's just a good blocker. As a big butt. Next up we have Naiad. Naiad of the Hidden Coves. Naiad of Hidden Coves. It's 2 in blue for an enchantment creature. It's a 2/3, and as long as you do not as it's not your turn, suppose you cast has 1 less. So it's also, I see this theme of casting things on your opponent's turn. So that means my landline might be pretty good now, because especially with this maybe theme of casting things on not on your turn, Leyline might be pretty good now. We shall see. Next up we have Idion of Philosophies. It's 1 blue for a enchantment creature. It's a 1/2, and you can pay 7 mana, sacrifice it, draw 3 cards. Okay, not bad. You get 1/2 for 1. It's not bad statting. Then late game, this thing can just draw you cards. So pretty cool. Next up, you have Morphosis. It's 2 in blue for enchant creature. Enchant creature's all ability just becomes a blue fish, toughness 0/1. So yeah, you just turn into a 0/1 fish that can just chomp block 1. But the thing I don't like, I think Charm Sleep is still better, or Sleep Paralysis, because the thing is they still got a chump blocker, so they can. Like, damn, I just wish that creature didn't exist, because then I would have lethal, but no, they had this 0/1 chump blocker. Sure, sometimes they still can take care of creatures. They have, like, good abilities. But still, this card's just not that good. And so we Leonin of the Lost Pride. When this creature dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So, this is basically just a slight upgrade from, you know, those 2 mana 3 ones. And this card could be relevant, like, imagine if you exile Elspeth with this. It also might just give them one less card and they can't escape now. So this is just, no, you cannot escape anymore. So this is just a good way to hate on escape. Next up we have Dreadful Apathy. Enchant creature. Enchant creature can't attack or block. You can also pay 3 to exile the enchanted creature. So you can just it can't attack or block. But let's say you have to put on like this big creature that also has this enormous ability. So let's say you do that for 1 turn to live, and the next one, okay, I'm also just going to exile that, so you don't get those abilities either. So that's not bad. I still think a pacifism is way better. But, you know, there's in Ixalan, we got Luminous Bonds, and also it was in Guild's Ravnica, which is 3 mana, creature can't attack or block, but it didn't have this. And there was also from Ixalan was Pious Interdiction, which is 4 mana to exile a creature, and you gain 2 life. Those was so bad. This card is better than all those, but still pacifism. Way better than that. Next up we have Indomitable Will. 1 in white. Flash. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+2. Okay, not that bad. Just a good combat trick, and also triggers your things that, you know, well, your things that care about when you put stuff on your opponent's turn. Well, not on your turn, technically, if you're playing multiplayer. So, pretty good. Next we have Karametra's Blessing. It's 1 white for an instant. Your target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gets Hexproof and Indestructible. Whoop. That's common. I guess you need that enchanted creature. So, +2/+2 for 1, not bad. Also gives me a Hexproof and Indestructible. That's great. If you get that card's just insane. But you can't really use this turn 1, obviously. That's the thing about 1 mana combat tricks, you just can't use them turn 1. So that's just basically a card that it's basically just it doesn't cost 1 mana, but it costs 1 mana, but it really doesn't, because you don't want to play it on turn 1, obviously, because you can't do anything. Unless you have like a 0 mana artifact, like 1/1, like that 1 0 mana artifact, that's a 1/1. But still, why would you use on that? Actually, Warbriar's Blessing, 1 in green. When Warbriar's Blessing enters the battlefield, enchanted creature fights another creature control. Also, the enchanted creature gets +2/+2. I mean, +0/+2. So, let's say you have like a top heavy creature, you can just also give it defense, so it can also block. Like, imagine you put on that 7/3, not the 7/5. That also when it also fighted, that's pretty good now. And then we have Skola's Grover Dancer. It's 1 in green, so 2 mana for a 2/2. Okay. Whenever a land is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you gain 1 life, and you can pay 3 to put the top card of your library into your graveyard. Again, just the whole milling theme, milling yourself, escaping the underworld, the whole theme, going beyond death. Just the whole theme of the set. Ooh, we about to hit Elspeth soon, yeah. Okay, so we have Thaumaturg's Familiar. It's 3 for a 1/3 flyer. And when it enters, scry 1. Okay. Uh, so basically, it's basically a Sky Scanner, which is 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer that draws a card. But instead, you get 2 extra toughness, and instead of your draw, you scry. So it's 2 extra toughness worth half a card. And I think I just rather have Sky Scanner, 1/1 blocker, just a 1/1 trump blocker. Could also do some good flying damage, artifact synergy, draws a card, it just replaces itself. Yeah, I think the Sky Scanner is way better than that. Okay. Next up we have Nylea's Huntmaster. It's a 4 mana 4/3, and when Nylea's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +X/+0, and it's on the turn where X is your devotion. So now also we get to see devotion. Here's the first devotion card we get to see. Really cool. I love devotion. Next up, Satania's Sky Mercer. 1 in green for a 2/1. Constellation, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1. Okay. Next up, the big whammy. Now this looks like, I don't know if they're doing like how they do with the collector's edition. This might be the collector's edition of Elspeth, but so here, Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis. 2 in white. So since I'm champion, it's Sun's Nemesis, because she has a grudge against Heliod, because he got afraid that Elspeth would turn on them, so he just killed her. So basically, it's 4 mana for a 5 loyalty. That's a lot of loyalty. Next up, we have her -1 ability. So all her abilities are negatives. Now, keep this in mind, because he also has Escape, but we'll get to that later. Her -1 is up to 2 target creatures you control get +2/+1. That's cool. You create 2 1/1 white soldier tokens. Okay, you gain 5 life. I think the most common one you're going to use is just to make the soldiers. But she also has Escape. And you can pay 4 and to escape her, exile 4 cards from character. I would actually really like this card in my my Bant Proliferate deck, because I can just keep proliferating her and just keep making tokens, which I can just keep giving counters to, which I can just keep proliferating. Yeah, this card would be great in that, but it's a mythic. And if this was just a Planeswalker and it didn't have Escape, let's say it was just like a 2 mana Planeswalker, it didn't have Escape, that'd still be good. Like 2 mana, like if this 4 mana for this would be like really bad. This would be like a Planeswalker deck card. I'd say at 2 mana, this card would be on par with what it is now, because 4 mana for this is not good. But the Escape, just being able to reuse it, and again, Escape doesn't exile the card when you recast it, so you can just keep doing it again, especially if you just have a lot of constant mill going on. Yeah, I hope they have like a card that says if you have no card like Lab Man or something, Lab Man, another effect. You're gonna be doing a lot of milling in this, and I think you might just lose a lot of games just by getting milled, by milling yourself too much. Next up, we have Lycian Guardiad, which is 1 green for a 1/1, and it taps for 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature of power 4 green, it taps for 2 mana. So basically, it's kind of like a Leafkin Druid, but it's a 1/1. It taps for 1 mana of any color. It's better, but Leafkin's a 0/3, so it's a good blocker also while you're waiting for. And then also, if you control creature power greater, now Leafkin says you have to control 4 creatures. So control creature power 4 greater. So yeah, this is just a good, and like a big ramp deck. You just keep ramping up. When you get for 4 power creature, you just tap this now for 2. Next up, the Omen Cycle. I really like the Omen Cycle. I think it's a really interesting design. So all the Omens have flash. Okay, so let's start with Omen of the Hunt. Omen of the Hunt is 2 in green for enchantment. All again, like I said, all of them have flash. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land, pull onto the battlefield, tapped, and shuffle it. So 3 mana, instant speed, search your land. Also, all the Omens also have this ability, pay 2, and whatever color of mana it is, the Omen is, and you scry 2. I really like this cycle, because it's not like just an enchantment, that it's just a one-time enchantment. You just get to use this, especially just 2 cards on one thing. So Omen of the Dead, 1 flash. When Omen of the Dead enters the battlefield, return to a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Now they made this 1 mana just because you're not going to play this on turn 1. If you made Omen of the Hunt 1 green, then that would be insane, because Omen of the Hunt, you would just play that turn 1. You ramp up. And also, again, like I said, sacrifice to scry 2. Next up, we have Omen of the Sea. So this is Thassa, that was Erebos. I don't know who that is. I haven't been much into Theros. I didn't come in at Theros. Didn't play for the original Theros set. Omen of the Sea is 1 in blue for a flash enchantment. When it's in the battlefield, scry 2, then draw a card. And then also just has scry 2. So you just get to scry 2, draw a card, then scry 2. I think they could have been a little bit more creative with Omen of the Sea. Maybe could have got back and into their sorcery from your graveyard. But then the scry 2, but no, just has. You just get the scry 2 off the bat and then you draw a card. Instant speed. I think this is probably the best of the Omen cycle though. 2 mana flash beats a scry 2, then draw a card. That's basically drawing 2 cards at instant speed. The scry 2 is on par with drawing a card. And scry 2 basically just pay 3 mana, draw a card. That's what all these say. And this is really good. So with Thundering Chariot. 4 mana for a 3/3, first strike, trample, haste, and also has crew 1. Okay, turn 4, slam this, then I just use my puny 1/1 that's not even doing anything. That the best thing is doing is chump blocking, crew it, punch in with my first strike, trample. That's just big insane. Really like that card. So with Hero of the Nyxborn, 1 in red white for a 2/2. When Hero of the Nyxborn, also this is an enchantment creature. Enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 human soldier. Okay. And whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Nyxborn, creatures you control get +1/+0. So basically, like if you use like a pump spell on this, now all your other creatures also get pumped. So this is just a good this is just exactly what Boros does. It just pumps each other, makes everyone stronger. Yeah. Probably can go into like a Boros commander deck, especially like a Fetter deck. Yeah, in Fetter this would be pretty good. Alright, next up we have Warden of the Chained. 1 red-green for a 4/4 trample. When Warden of the Chained can't attack unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. Next up, Chainweb Arcaneer. Green for a 1/2 reach. When Chainweb Arcaneer enters the battlefield. Well, this. I mean, yeah, obviously that. You control creature power 4. So basically, on the next turn, you hope for this, the Warden of the Chained. Just playing our 4 power creature. Get it through. So you can start attacking with this. Okay, now back to Chainweb. Reach 1/2 whenever it enters the battlefield. It does damage equal to its power. To target a creature with flying and opponent control. Kind of like the Harpooner, but less good. And it's uncommon, so this keep must be pretty good, right? So it's 3 green. You exile 4 cards, and you put this back. And it also escapes with 3 counters. 3! So that's a 4/5. So then, yeah, so this card's pretty good. I like this card. Just a good blocker, can deal damage to flyers. Nice. Next up, we have Wolf Willow Haven. 1 green, enchantment. Whenever a enchant land is tapped for a mana, a controller adds an additional green. So basically just, your land now taps for 2. But one of them is green. So that's pretty good. You also pay 4 and 5, sacrifice it. You create a 2/2 wolf. Activates ability only during turn. So basically just when you're in the late game, this is not really doing much. You already have all your mana. Just sacrifice this Haven. You get a 2/2. Pretty good. So good to help ramping you up, setting you up, and then after you're done, after you dispensed your hand and you have nothing else to play, just sacrifice this for a wolf. Really good design. Next up, Hydra's Growth. 2 in green. Enchant creature. When a Hydra's Growth enters the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter on a creature. Enchant creature. Alright, I'm already intrigued. I like that because, again, my Bant Proliferate deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of +1/+1 counters on enchanted creature. Oh yeah. Instant windmills. This is going to be an instant windmill slam in my Bant Proliferate deck. I'm going to get all my hand on all of these. That is just really good in my Bant Proliferate deck. Just put it on a graceful apparition, and then every upkeep you double, and then you just attack with the apparition, you deal damage, you proliferate. Oh, that's big, nice. I need that card. I need it. Dream Shaper Shaman. 5 in red. For a 5/4 enchantment creature. Minotaur. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 in red, sacrifice a non-land permanent. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest into the bottom of your library board. Especially you can just turn a like let's say like a worthless creature, maybe just a 1/1, you can upgrade it into something. Maybe you might upgrade your 1/1 into an Elspeth. That's pretty cool. Next up we have Dreamstalker Manticore, another enchantment creature. 3 for a 4/2, not bad. When you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, it deals 1 damage to any target. Okay, so it looks like it's a good top-heavy blocker. And also, yeah, just do that like, okay, you said Lightning Bolt wasn't this form? I'm sorry, Shock? That does 3 damage over there? Huh? Lightning Bolt's back in the format, boy. Yeah. Lightning Bolt's back in the format now. The Shock with this is just Lightning Bolt now. They can also split, which is nice. Yeah. But Lightning Bolt only at instant speed. So basically, just Shock now just reads deal 2 damage on. You can deal 2 damage on your turn, or you can deal 3 damage, and you can also split into 2/1 on your opponent's turn. That's real nice. It's a Furious Rise, and also there's other things obviously you can combo with it. It's probably, yeah, this is probably gonna be like in those like decks that like Iron Rag Pyromancer just deal a lot of damage. So Furious Rise, 2 in green, what? Red, 2 in red. What was I saying? At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature of power 4 greater, so also seeing this theme of 4 greater, and also that's why maybe all these top heavy creatures just for that trigger or greater, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with Furious Rise. So basically, you just have to do this. So basically, it just gives you 1 turn to play that card. So let's say you use Furious Rise, you already have a 4-power creature. You reveal the top card, and let's say that you're already tapped out and you can't play it. So next turn you do it. You play that card, and then you play the next card. So, but if you don't play that card, then it's just gone. Alright, love the design of it. Next up we have Heroes of the Revel. 4 in red for a 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, when Heroes of the Revel enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red Satyr token with this creature can't block. Okay. When you cast a spell that targets Heroes of the Revel, creatures you control get +1/+0. So just like that other card, I think that just some cards just have that. I think it's just another mechanic. Okay, so just make a 1/1 that just can't block. Okay. It's not bad. Next up, Minions Return. 2 in black for a Flash enchantment creature. Again, lots of stuff with Flash. I'm definitely seeing these themes here. When an enchantment creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So basically just... Ooh, you can combo. So let's say like your opponent decides... So you kill some... Let's say you kill their big, massive, ginormous bomb. This big bomb, like this big creature does a lot of things. Okay, I'm gonna kill that, and then I'm also and in response, I'm gonna play Minions Return, so that when it dies, I get it. It's just under your control. It doesn't say under its owner's control. So that's really, you can do some spicy combos with that. So Underworld Dreams, it's black. Whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to that player. So basically, it's another way to punish people for drawing extra cards. Next up, Madami's Prophecy. So this is another saga. This saga has so much packed onto it. It has 4 lore count. It has 4 chapters, unlike 3. So for the first one is scratch it. So basically, when you play this, you scratch it. Okay. Next up, you choose a card name. Well, why? Well, next up, you'll see on 3, is whenever you cast a spell with a chosen name for the first time, you draw 2 cards. So you basically use Telegraph 1 card, and then when you cast that, you get to draw 2 cards. Provided you haven't cast that card before, but probably you haven't. Like, let's say you just do that on your 4-drop, because this, when you get to the second one, you're going to be on turn 3. So let's say you say, okay, yeah, here's my 4-drop. Oh yeah, I'm kind of also my 4-drop now just draws me 2 cards. That's just and also 5, and then the last one, just look at the top card of each player's library. So basically, just you know what you're drawing next turn, and also you know your opponent's drawing next turn. So that's good information. I think the best one, I think the last one's kind of Same thing with the second one, because it doesn't really do any impact. The Scry 2 and the other ones do impact, though. The 5th one also kind of does, but it's more like later game impact. Same thing with the Scry 2, but I think the third one is really cool. It's like name your 4-drop. On turn 3, you name your 4-drop, and then you just play your 4-drop and you draw 2 cards. Next up, we have Theros Singer. Theros Singer. It's 1 and blue for a 1/3 flying flash. So that's flash, that's cool. And when it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets negative X and 0, where X is your devotion to blue. So you just play that, and just like that gets negative stuff, and then all about blocks, and it basically just is a good combat trick. Basically, that's what it does. It just combat tricks out your opponent. Circle, and that's it for the one of OJ. Let's see some of these comments. Maybe being weird, putting 9 of the hidden. Oh, that easy. Control my opponents with triggers and spells in their turn. Great set. I love already everything that's going on in this set. Love it all. This Elspeth, though. I really want to talk about this. Big Spice. So I don't know who the other walkers are going to be. We already have reference to Ashiok, so maybe we might get Ashiok. I hope we get the gods, though. We need more new gods for Commander. Commander's going to be super sick if we can get gods. Come on, you're already doing awesome. Just give us more. Just throw us more bones. Just give us more. Just give us gods to play with in Commander. It'll be so sweet. Yeah, but this is a really interesting design with the Sun Nemesis. I would love this in my Baron Proliferate deck. Just so you can just keep making... I just keep making 1/1 soldiers. Keep giving those counters with like a Johnny the Greyhearted. Just minus a Johnny. Give both of those counters. And the counters proliferate. Keep your Elspeth alive. And even if it dies, you can just escape it. Or better, I can just Tameo fish it out. So I really like this card, but sadly, I'm probably not going to pull it. Knowing my luck. I did pull Oko. That's my best. That's like the best pull I've ever had of anything. This is the best pull I've ever had in my life, Oko. Because that card is dumb expensive. And I really want to just send it off just before they might ban Oko. Because I feel like Oko's dominating the meta right now. Most MPO players are just playing Oko. That's what they're doing. Hope you guys enjoyed this. IRWG Player, out.